Hey, good morning. It's time to get started on the gravy. It's December 24th, 2011. And as you see, I've got the things laid out here on the table. You got to have everything ready because once you start doing the gravy, there's no stopping. So I got 4 cans. I'm doing a big batch, which will take a pound of margarine or butter. We will start out with the butter. We put it in a pan to start it heating. And as this melts, we'll be prepared with the flour. We'll use either between 1 and 3 cups of flour. It never works out the same each time, so you have to put it in as you need it. So the butter is melting. You have a large amount of water handy. You've got the milk in the refrigerator. And on this batch that we're doing now, we'll take 1 pound of margarine, about 3 cups of flour, either 2 large cans of bone chicken or 4 small cans. That will make about 1 gallon, which will serve about 40 people. Now things will kind of slow down as you see the butter is melting. Been doing chicken and gravy all my life. I'm 83 years old, be 84 in May. And Mother taught me to make gravy when I was, before I ever started school. I remember making the gravy and even making biscuits. But Granny makes the biscuits better than anybody else that I know of, so she's the biscuit maker and I'm the gravy maker. Now things will kind of slow down a little bit till everything heats up. But this is a tradition. We've been doing this ever since I was married. We've been doing it for the kids, and we haven't missed a Christmas Eve doing biscuits and gravy for breakfast in 25 years or so. And all the kids will drive off from all over the United States just to get here to get the gravy and biscuits. Okay, now after the margarine gets melted, then you'll start adding the flour. And this is something you can't really get in a big hurry over. So I start out with a cup of flour. I know it's going to take between 1 and 3 cups of flour for this batch of stuff, but sometimes it varies a little bit. So you've got to be careful to put it in as you need it. And keep your temperature just right. You just got to keep working that flour into that margarine or butter. Either one works real well. The reason I use margarine is cheaper than butter. And when you get the flavor of chicken in it, you never know the difference. See how that looks now? That looks a little like I'm going to need about maybe about another cup of flour. Okay, I'll cut 1 cup of flour in, and you can see how it is. It's not, it needs more flour. And this is something that you just can't make a dead recipe on, because sometimes it takes more or less. So I'll come in here with my 2nd cup of flour. I won't put quite all of it in until I see that that's going to work right.
There we go.
See, that's not enough yet. So there's my 2nd cup of flour completely in it. And you got to keep stirring it, because if it burns, it's not good. But you've got to get it golden brown. It looks like I'm going to need just a little bit more flour. About another ½ cup. This should be enough. I spent over almost a year and a half dealing with Chick-fil-A, trying to talk them into using chicken for their gravy rather than sausage. And they thought it was a good idea at first. And I offered to make it, show them how to make it. But then they turned around and said, well, they had to stick with what they had because it had been proven as a good item. But it didn't work out. So I'm happy and they're happy. I'm sorry that they can't have some good chicken gravy. And you just have to keep working this until it gets golden brown. And can you see the consistency of it now? That's got the right amount of flour in it for it. So that took a little over 2.5 cups of flour. Sometimes it takes 3 cups and sometimes 2.5 will do it real easy. This is a slow process right now. I just keep working it. See how it just slides off the end of my little old ladle here, or spatula, or whatever you want to call that thing. But you can't hardly do this in a non-stick frying pan because you've got to keep scraping it off the bottom to keep it from burning. So you need an old iron frying pan or either a stainless steel frying pan. And it's just, you just kind of wait and see. Just be patient. Don't get in a hurry. Because if you do, you'll mess up. And if you would put the water in now and then get the milk in, you would end up with a white gravy instead of a brown gravy. And we just seemingly like the brown gravy. And that gives the flour a chance to get real good and done, get browned and fully cooked. Well, I got started on chicken gravy is whenever I was little, back then you didn't have bone chicken, you had chickens out in the yard. And what we would have, a lot of times on Sunday morning, we'd get up and Mother would tell me, said, Glenn, go out in the backyard and get a small chicken. And so I'd go out in the yard and I'd get me grab me a chicken out of the pen or run one down and chop his head off and take him inside and clean him and cut him up, and Mother would roll it in flour. She had this big iron frying pan and she put some good hog lard in there and fry that chicken. And then she'd make this brown gravy out of the drippings. And that's how we got started on chicken gravy. Nowadays, we don't have to go out in the backyard and get a chicken. We just go to the grocery store and buy the bone chicken. And if you notice, I've got everything laid out because once this gets brown, it's a fast process. You can't get away from it. See how that's browning? And a lot of times, whenever I was young, going to high school, and the rest of them's already gone to the Navy, I'd come home from school and Mother would tell me that afternoon, she said, now if you want anything for breakfast in the morning, you better go down in the woods and get a squirrel. And I had this little sawed-off short .22 rifle that my brother had left when he went in the Navy. And I'd go down there and I'd take my books with me to read, and I'd sit down under the hickory nut tree and I'd just wait patiently till a squirrel come out. And I wouldn't shoot at the first one I seen because he had to be, he'd get him a nut and sit out on a limb up there and start eating that hickory nut, and I'd have a real good shot. And so Mother would only give me 1 bullet, and I said, Mom, give me 2. She said, well, if you only need 1 squirrel, and so just bring 1 squirrel, that's all we need. See how this is doing now? If you're looking into the thing, see how brown it's getting? It's getting real fast. Things are going to speed up here in a little while. But I'd get that squirrel and I'd clean him on the way back in and wash him off real good. And We put him in a pot and stew him on the open fireplace. At night, next morning, get up and, like I say, we roll him in flour, cook him in that hog lard. See how brown that is now? That's the secret of good gravy, is getting it brown and not having it white. Now when it started here, this is a mess. When you do this, this looks like something you want to throw out in the garbage can, but you don't want to mess up the garbage can. And like I say, once you put your water in there, it's a fast process. And you just got to keep adding to it to get it the right consistency. It takes a whole lot of water. But you see how this water is blending in. You just have to keep working it to get it worked in real good. I'm going to step over to the refrigerator and get the milk out. Now's the time that you put the milk in. And like I say, you just end up putting a couple cups in. And my mother never did use a recipe, so she taught me to cook without a recipe. Okay, see, I've got this kind of about right consistency. Now what I'm going to do is put the chicken in it. See how this is now? Can you see? There's how it looks. You see, like I opened my chicken before. Now 4 pans for a big batch like this is what you need. If you're just going to make 1 1/4 pound of margarine or butter, you just use 1 can of chicken. Now some people like to put more chicken in it, and some people like to have maybe a little less chicken in it. But this is what it works out best for me. Now as soon as I get this one finished, I'll put it in the crock pot. Then I'll do another batch. Now all the kids, when they get here, this will be what, and they will eat it all. There won't be any left. Granny will make up about 60 or 70 biscuits, but they'll be gone. In fact, we'll be probably licking the bottom of the bowl. Okay, I've got my chicken in it. Now this will keep getting thicker and thicker, and as I put it in the crock pot, and as it sits and simmers, I'll constantly have to add maybe just a little bit of water or milk to it. Then before you put it in, you want to put throw a little salt in it to start with. I don't put a whole lot. And then they can do it at the table. But it seems like put a little salt and pepper on it now, it makes it better. Boy, that looks good. Look at that. I almost want to lick that. If you wasn't watching me, I would. Of course, when I lick it, I got an extra one. You wondering why I had that extra one, didn't you? That's because you take this one like this, you know. Ooh, that's good. I bet the kids will love that.